play chess online or learn how to improve? Join us at the #1 chess destination in the world, chess.com. With hundreds of thousands of people playing at any moment, you'll quickly find a game with someone at your level, whether you're a total beginner or a grandmaster. You can play games at any pace against friends, other members, or one of our many computer personalities. Chess.com makes improving fun and easy. Sharpen your game with tactics puzzles and enhance your strategy with our videos and lessons by top masters. Learn from your own games with Chess.com's easy-to-use analysis tool. Regardless of your skill level, Chess.com has all you need to take your game to the next level. Chess.com is your go-to source for chess news, live coverage of tournaments, events, and everything in between. Experience Chess.com anytime and anywhere, whether you're at home on your computer or on the go with our mobile apps. Signing up is free and easy, so what are you waiting for? Join Chess.com today.
Welcome everyone, this is FIDE Grand Prix 2022 finals, and we do have a special guest today and the co-host of mine, International Master and Women Grandmaster, Anna Rudolf. Welcome at the show, Anna.
Thank you so much, Kathy, and welcome everyone to the show. I'm so happy to be back and hosting the Grand Prix together with you. I had a blast last time, and I can't wait to see what we have in store today. It's Hikaru Nakamura versus Wesley So, the second day of the finals. Everything can be decided today or not. What do you think, Kathy?
That's very interesting. We really want to see the first moves, Anna. If they're going to play fast, if they're going to blitz out, we know that it might go in the same way as yesterday. But in yesterday's game, Hikaru clearly was following the Wesley's previous game, which he played like 4 months ago. And Wesley was not so happy with that draw. He was with white pieces. He wanted to fight, and he knows that maybe classical chess is the control that he can score a point, because according to the statistics, what we have now, they have played tons of games, and Wesley is a favorite, slightly favored in the classical format, and then in rapid and blitz, Hikaru is taking lead, Anna. So I think we clearly know what these two players want. But the question is how it's going to go. What's your thoughts about this?
My thoughts are basically the same that you have mentioned, that I believe for Hikaru, the tiebreak would be suitable. And he's got the white pieces today. So he can, if he wants to, he can direct the game in the direction of a theoretical draw. While for Wesley, the classical format would be more suitable, but he's got the black pieces. We also have no longer the candidate spots at stake, but we do have a lot of prizes at stake. The winner takes home 24,000 euros, while the runner-up is 18,000. With my horrible maths, I hope I'm managing that. That's a 6,000 euro difference. So it does matter what happens today. Quite a few thousand euros at stake. We already know that the qualification for the candidates, that for Wesley is no longer an option, because Hikaru Nakamura has qualified already and Richard Rapport has qualified already.
That's right, Anna. We do have one final spot open for the candidates tournament, and Ding is working so hard on that. I think it's my daily routine to check how Ding played today. And I can see that he has already played 12 games so far, and he scored 10.5. So he's winning most of the games and also makes some of the draws. And he planned to play all the 26 rated games, which is necessary to qualify at the candidates tournament 2022. Now we can see all these players on the screen who has chances, but Ding, as he's working right now, he has biggest chances, Anna, to get the final spot at the candidates 2022.
Absolutely. And Richard Rapport, as we mentioned, already qualified, so he's no longer a danger for that spot for Ding Liren. Ding Liren is due to be playing 28 games, as you mentioned, Katie. So 26 is the the number that he needs. It has to be 30 games in total. He played only 4 until just recently. So 26 more games, and he is scheduled to play overall 28 games. So it should be enough if everything goes well. And he has already gained quite some rating. So he's back to the world number 2 spot. He has pushed Alireza Firouzja back from the 2nd spot. And we shall see. We shall see how things go. But so far, I think it's very promising for the Chinese Grandmaster to make it. And then hopefully he will get a visa. Like, he has to be there. He has to be there.
Important. I think that's the most important thing. Second most important thing. But and we were talking yesterday with David that Hikaru has qualified. We have here a huge prize fund, but Wesley is also fighting here for the title, for the first prize, for the money. But also he has a tiny little chance that something goes wrong again with Ding's visa, and then someone should take his spot. And he wants to be the next one. So that's a big fight, still a lot on the table. And we had here small predictions before the start, but also our viewers can predict your result. I bet that won't be hard for you guys, so take your time now and go for voting. Chess.com/events, navigate to the tournament, select a game, click vote, and guess the result. And please keep in mind that this voting ends in just 10 moves. So I'm gonna do that to you, Anna.
This has to be done right now, because if the game goes like yesterday, if it's gonna be blitzed out the first plenty of moves as theory, you don't have much time, folks. Go ahead and do that right now at /events. Make sure to get your predictions in before the game makes it through 10 moves, and maybe before the game ends, because it could be a quick draw. I don't want to scare anyone, because we are here to see a lot of fighting chess and complications, very long game. But it's true what Katie mentioned, that if today is a draw, we're gonna see rapid and blitz tiebreaks tomorrow. And Hikaru is right now number 1, even in rapid, and bullet and blitz has always been 2 of his favorite time controls, and he has always been really at the top of the top in bullet and blitz. But he also has taken over on the live FIDE rating list. At the rapid chess ranking, he has pushed Magnus Carlsen back to the 2nd place. So Hikaru is on fire, and I think he wouldn't mind a rapid tiebreaker tomorrow. We're gonna take a short break, and when we are back, we shall see whether that's Hikaru's approach, or will he one of it today at Classical Chess.
Welcome back, everyone. This is for the Grand Prix finals. And Anna, we have already first moves. And we do have one E4 and E5. And we predicted that this might go to the Berlin, this might go to early draws because Hikaru played Rapid Chess Championship yesterday after the fast draw that he mentioned at the interview. Like, I finished early today, so I think I'll play Rapid Championship. And he played, and guess what? He qualified. That's not shocking for us, as he was playing a lot of online events too, together with the over the board, and it was quite successful for him. And today, very likely, he wants to end this game rather early and go and to play a Rapid Championship.
I think your prediction might come true, Katie. We do have the Rui Lopez, the Spanish opening on the board. And if Wesley wants, he could go for the Berlin defense. They are playing in Berlin. It's way too fitting not to do it, right? This is the Grand Prix hosted in Berlin. If it's a Berlin, they might go for that extremely fast theoretical draw, the repetition of moves that we have seen at so many super tournaments. Wouldn't be surprising, but Wesley is taking his time here, signaling that he might want to at least go for a different variation where there would be no theoretical draw at an early stage of the game. So it still would not rule out that Hikaru might want to go for a calmer approach today, but at least it wouldn't lead to an immediate draw out of the opening. So let's see if Wesley will actually play the Berlin. He's thinking, he's taking his time. I'm curious. I'm really curious to see whether we're going to have knight f6 on the board.
Yeah, me too. And Anna, you know, when you're Wesley, you play with black pieces. You made first with white, and then we have here knight f6.
All right. Okay. The question has been answered. Sorry, Kat, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but the move has interrupted us. Now the question is on Hikaru's side. Will he go for that very famous draw line of the Berlin, or will he play something else? Because he can deviate too.
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think he will go. Why not? And there are not too much of the other options from black side as well. So we very likely can go. I wanted to mention what can be Wesley's strategy for this day, but knight f6 just broke all my ideas. And I wanted to suggest this. If you are a Wesley, if you play with black pieces and this first game was not so good for you with white pieces, you know that your opponent wants to play today Rapid Chess Championship, that Wesley surely knows about that. Why don't you choose the long game, like to make sure that your opponent is not going to play anything that day, and you can make it like 5 hours game.
Yeah, I get your point there that he could have used that situation in his favor. At the same time, Wesley is such a nice guy and the two get along very well. So I think maybe in a different situation, they would have had that card. But looking at how Hikaru and Wesley have often made draws, they are teammates, they get along very well. It would not be surprising that in fact, Wesley will be following the Rapid Chess Championship and rooting for Hikaru to do well there. So the Rapid Chess Championship match that we are talking about with Katie, for Hikaru, it starts in 3.5 hours. His match against Nodirbek. Nodirbek Abdusattorov was going to be Hikaru's opponent a few weeks ago in the Rapid Chess Championship, and Nodirbek had an over-the-board tournament for which he could not make it to that match. Today it's the opposite. Today it's Hikaru who is playing over the board at the finals of the Grand Prix, and he has only the next 3 hours to finish this game to show up at the Rapid Chess Championship match against Nodirbek.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's so funny as well, what a coincidence. And back then, Nodirbek was in Serbia when actually the Grand Prix was happening. Second leg of the Grand Prix was happening, and he was playing an invitational tournament alongside with World Championship match or other big events like Grand Prix. The organizers like to organize the other side events too, for kids, for other players as well. So there was one of the big events with a lot of young chess grandmasters and new talents. So Nodirbek was one of those, playing at the same venue as the rest of the Grand Prix players. And for this reason, he had to skip the Rapid Chess Championship. But today it is Hikaru in that side to stay in this game and play long game to make a fast draw and go in the room and start to play a rapid championship. I know we can take a look now at the pairings of rapid championship and check out what is happening today later in 3.5 hours.
Yeah, very exciting matchups. As we have mentioned, Hikaru is facing Derbek, who is one of the youngest grandmasters in the world. And the other matchups too are very, very promising. Parham Maksudlu is making an appearance now in the knockout stage. And his opponent is Amin Tabatabai, who did really well in this third leg of the Grand Prix. The two are teammates on the Olympic team of Iran. So that, I think, is going to be especially interesting for how again, a situation where two teammates on the Olympic team get along very well, friends, but there's no friendship over the chessboard where it's a knockout system and only one can make it through.
That's right, Anna. And we also have here Daniel Dubov, who in fact was playing, I think, bullet championship or rapid championship while his flight was delayed when he was going to Berlin. So many funny stories these players usually have, which is pretty much connected with chess. But now we are having this position, and they are taking a lot of time. Wesley's taken a lot of time, and he goes for knight e4. Wow.
Yeah, so far this is all going according to what we were suggesting, that it was likely that if they want to go for a quick draw, they could play this variation. We have seen this opening so many times, the Berlin defense, and this particular line of the Berlin defense, which is known for leading to an early draw in the game. There still can be deviations. So just because it's on the board, it doesn't 100% guarantee that we're going to see a draw within the next few moves, but it's going in that direction. And Katie, I think our prediction is pretty certain that we're going to see a draw soon.
Yes. All right. Anna, we can actually show here some of the lines, how they can make a draw, what can be possible changes here, which side can change. But I'm not a big expert of e4, e5, and I need your help in here.
Yeah, absolutely. This has been mentioned in the chat too. I know that many of you guys are very aware of theory, but we also want to make sure we show it to the players that might not have this as their main opening repertoire. So the main move here is pawn to d4. White is fighting for that center. The central pawn of white has just been taken. So you push the second pawn to the center with the black king still in the middle of the board. This is looking very promising. You're about to open the e5, but black has a really important counter move here, which is to place the knight on d6 and attack the bishop. So there's no time to capture on e5 because the bishop is hanging. And in this situation, you would, you can take on e5, knight takes b5, and then trap the knight. This is one of the lines. And the other line would be to take on c6. So yes, you're right, Kitty. There can be deviations right here as well. So we shall see. We shall see which one will happen. I think
d4 has happened, Anna.
D4 is on the board. So now the question is whether Wesley will go for knight d6. Honestly, from Black's perspective here, you don't really have much as other alternatives. Knight d6 is the best move because that knight will be in trouble on the e file otherwise because of rook e1 or queen e2 and the king on the e file. So knight d6 is the best continuation for Black. And this is where white has two main options in terms of whether you take on c6 or whether you take on e5 and let the knight capture the bishop on b5. It looks like it hangs the piece. So this, we definitely should show how d takes e5, knight takes b5. It looks like white has just blundered a piece, but in fact, you will win that knight back because the knight has nowhere to go from b5. So after pawn to a4, that knight will be taken back wherever it goes.
Yes, and even this variation looks very good for FIDE's perspective. You're taking this knight back, and then you have this central pawn in here. Black is not well developed, not castled yet, but this can also lead to some variation. I remember this. I have seen it somewhere. d5 can be played here, or d6 can be played. So Black can get rid of this pawn, and then very quickly try to castle on the king side, and Black has pair of bishop. And as Black can develop those pieces, black will be just fine. So d4 is on the board. What happens if white takes the bishop, the knight on c6 then?
That would lead to a different variation where after d takes c6, white will now capture the pawn on e5. So it's a pair of bishops for black, but white has a stronger pawn structure and lead in development. This would be interesting. So this is not the draw line. The draw line is with that hanging bishop on b5. This would be the Berlin endgame when white has 4 pawns versus 3 on the king side and doubled pawns for black on the queen side. A lot of games, there's just hundreds or thousands of games. I'm very bad at numbers, but a lot of games have seen this endgame too. And this is an exciting endgame to play. It's nowhere near a draw. Both sides has their pros and cons in terms of what is that their position has. As we mentioned, pair of bishops for black, but white has the better pawn structure, and 4 versus 3 on the king side means that it usually is easier, somewhat easier for white to create a pass pawn, with the doubled pawns on the c5 not being very good for when you want to break through with the pawn structure. So this is a very rich endgame, but I don't think it will happen because the other line, if we just go back to the moment in the game where we are at after d4, knight d6, pawn takes e5, knight takes b5. So this line where we blunder the bishop, this is the line that actually leads to a very quick draw if they want to go for it. After a4, knight b to d4, the knight takes the knight takes back, queen on d4. And now it looks like white is doing amazing. White has castle, there's a queen in the middle of the board, but black will challenge that pawn immediately with d6. And if that pawn is taken, which is the main move, e takes d6, queen takes d6, you can give a check on e4, but the black queen will always block. So queen e4, queen e6, queen d4, queen d6, and they are just shuffling back and forth the 2 queens. Yes, this is the typical draw.
I have seen this kind of draw already made by Hikaru in other games too. That's actually how I know this line. That's the only knowledge I have in this line from his game earlier. And it used to be quite popular way to make a draw. They are not really going to other lines, but also this, what we showed here earlier, the end game. This is so interesting. Here white has a lot of ideas. We have seen many different lines here, but after a long game, it still mostly ends in a draw because both sides are having just too much of the counter ideas and counter plans as well. So looking forward to the next moves in here. Do you think we're gonna see this queen d4, queen e4 moves and the end of the game just like that, Anna?
I would not be surprised. Wesley is taking his time, so he's considering whether to deviate or not. But I don't actually know if he's considering it. It also could be for the fact that there's a lot of media attention around the game. You don't just want to go there and make a draw in a minute. So whether it's out of courtesy and respect for the event that they are not making a draw just yet, or is he actually considering deviating? But as we mentioned, knight d6 is the main move for black, and then it is in Hikaru's hands whether he wants to go for the repetition when that d takes e5, knight b5, a4 line, or will he try to play the Berlin endgame?
That's right, we're waiting for the next moves to happen. And before that, Anna, we do have tons and tons game, as we mentioned earlier at the starting of the broadcast between these 2 players, and it's very interesting what's the statistics. And below your video, there's head-to-head results, and also some interesting facts is that I think one of the first matches they have played in 2014 at Millionaire Open tournament, which used to be so popular. I remember everybody wanted to play there. It was in Vegas, and they wanted to visit the fancy place and take a look at this tournament as well and play. And we have the information that Hikaru beat So in a rapid tiebreaker and won the whole event. So when there is some stories behind, then you really don't want to follow to the same path, right? And we do have quite a lot of statistics here where Hikaru beat Wesley in the blitz or rapid versions of the chess, Anna.
Very true that most of the tiebreakers that they have played against each other, and there have been plenty, 7 to 8 events where the two faced each other in very important tiebreakers. Most of them have gone in favor of Hikaru, although, for instance, at the Clutch Championship Showdown in 2020, it was Wesley who beat Hikaru, and he also won in the semifinals of the Skilling Open of last year, of the Magnus Carlsen Chess Tour. So a bit of back and forth, but most of the tiebreakers have gone indeed in favor of Hikaru. And we also should just highlight again that Hikaru is doing amazing this year. He won the first leg of the Grand Prix in Berlin. Now he's back in Berlin. I think he qualified to the candidates already in the group stage. He didn't even need to score this well in the semifinals or make it to the final. He already won the overall Grand Prix. He already qualified to the candidates tournament. In between days of playing at the Grand Prix, he won the Arena Kings, he won Title Tuesday, and today he's due to play Rapid Chess Championship 2 on chess.com. So he's just winning it all and he's playing it all. It's crazy.
It's crazy. I don't know other words how to describe all of this, but as long as it goes the best way for him, he's taking all of it. And when he qualified to the semifinals and he guaranteed himself the candidates tournament, he mentioned that all his thoughts are going now to that tournament. But on the way, he won these 2 events that you just mentioned. And also he's now planning probably to play another event today. But Wesley is taking a lot of time, Anna.
He is taking a lot of time. And many of you are asking in the chat, why is he thinking? Again, it's a very known position. So he's not trying to make up theory. He indeed has gone for knight to d6. I feel like this will go for that repetition after d takes c5, knight b5, and the line that we have showed. But out of courtesy and respect for the event, I don't think that they wanted to blitz out these moves in 30 seconds. So they are taking a bit longer, even if the moves are very obvious.
That's a good point. That's really good point. And also they know that a lot of people now are watching at their games and their decision. Wesley said that he is a bit sad with the whole situation because now they are only 2 last people at the play venue. And the rest of the tournament is just gone. No one is there. There's empty venue. And also when there are like 16 participants, of course, there are more attraction, more spectators, more cameras. And he also mentioned that he feels so sad with this, that there are not many people. He feels sorry also for Magnus Carlsen, that he went all of this process for years and years as he's playing the match against only one player. So that was quite funny to hear this kind of story from Wesley.
It was hilarious how he was like, I feel sorry for Magnus. He has to do this all the time. You're alone in the playing. Oh, there's only one opponent. The 2 of you are there. No one else. Feels lonely. Yeah,
it's true. But it's also very sweet to hear these inside thoughts of the players. You think that players are just focused on the chess, they don't care around what's going on, but it's not like that. They want still people to watch, they want still to have supporters there, and they are playing for themselves, of course, and for also their fans. And I'm very glad that players nowadays started to be more open up and to share their thoughts and their beliefs in overall topics.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's so great to see the human side of the game and their emotions, their feelings. And Magnus was one of the first world champions who showed that he actually is not always feeling like 100% the game was going his way. He didn't mind showing many times in his analysis that he may have had doubts, or even just in general his feelings about tournaments and such. Great to see the emotions, great to see the nerves, and not just how strong they are, of course, because they are incredibly strong chess players, but we get to meet them a bit more. We get to know more about their hobbies, what they like to do in their spare time. Wesley's cat, we have met many times at events that he plays on chess.com. So there's just so much more to it than the chess moves on the board.
agree with
Speaking
that.
of the chess moves, after 96, we don't have a move yet.
No, unfortunately. We can look a little bit around here. We know that this move is the main move and leads us to the drawish position. This move we have seen also. There are a few other moves, Anna. For instance, I never played this position, and how about to go silly and play rook e1 now? I know I'm giving up this bishop, but I'm hoping to open up the center there, and the king is here, not castled yet.
All right, so we're gonna analyze an idea of Ketty here. I like it. Let me check how many games. I feel like because it's the Berlin and it's such a popular opening that there's gotta be games even for that line, even if bishop takes c6 or d takes e5 are the main ones. So according to what I see in the database, rook e1 was played in 3 games. Ketty, we went from hundreds or thousands of games down to 2 games or 3.
So unique.
Yeah, because bishop takes c6 was played in over 6,700 games. D takes c5 was played in over 1,100 games. And rook e1, your suggestion, which it could be the new theory, like it could be the new main line one day, rook e1 was played in 3 games. I like it. Last played last played last year. I thought earlier it showed last played in 1996, which wouldn't have been the most recent theory. I would be curious to see if Hikaru would try to make some kind of a semi-novelty here in such a known position, or will we just see a handshake in a few moves with d takes c5 and a4?
Yeah, I don't believe anything gonna happen because they are so well prepared, and all of these things, rook e1 here, there's also bishop g5, very interesting, instead of rook e1, which hits the queen right away. All these moves has been analyzed a few years earlier probably, but they surely know here all the ideas and all the moves. So go to back on rook e1. Maybe some people still are curious about this move. Black can take the bishop over here, but knight can come on e5, threaten knight c6, and if you take this knight, then I will come with the rook, and this is a double attack that I was counting on. But this is not the only way that Black can play here, unfortunately for rook e1, because Black can play bishop to e7, cover this file over here, and next just to castle and try to play normal game. So for this reason, rook e1 is just not worthy, and you cannot just give up this bishop over here. But now, after thinking all of this, how about move a4? Has anyone played here, or this is the novelty?
All right. Let's take a look at that option. Now that we have all the time in the world to analyze the Berlin defense after knight d6, I think it's a very valid question. What if that bishop is guarded? I see 4 games in the database. Ketty, we are improving the statistics here. We're going from 3 games to 4. A4 was played in 4 games. The rating average is about 2,300. So we could have played it. We could have played those games. Maybe it's our game. Is it? I don't know. I don't remember. But a4 would lead to Black pushing e4. Now that the pawn has not been captured, that pawn will try to stay on the board. You could play here rook e1 to pin that pawn. And then after bishop e7, the white knight needs to leave the f3 square because now it's hanging. Knight e5 could be played, for instance. But maybe this line is not that popular because it takes a bit of time and maneuvering for white to even gain the pawn back on e4.
Yeah, that's right. So this is not one of the popular lines, as you can see the statistics, but we're improving. The next move, which I want to suggest, might be played 5 times or 6 times, but it can be played. This is okay position for me and maybe for many of our viewers, because none of the side blunder the piece, everything is still under control. But once again, we're talking now about super grandmasters with their super seconds and the coaches and with their supercomputers. So for this reason, we might not see this kind of lines here. The engine gives here Black's a match, so Hikaru definitely will not go to give this much chances to Wesley.
Certainly. Kathy, I do see a line that I didn't know of before, but it is the 3rd option. So after the main 2 moves that we have said, with d takes e5 or bishop takes c6, there is a 3rd alternative And it would be a mix between the endgame, but not going to the endgame. It's bishop to g5 to attack the queen. The queen has nowhere to go, so you pretty much need to block with the bishop and offer a trade of bishops, bishop e7. And now after the trade of bishops, what could happen is that after queen takes e7, then you take on c6 with the bishop, d takes c6, and now when you capture the pawn on e5 with the pawn, after the knight jumps away, there is no offer of queen trade. There's no endgame. So same structure, but with the queens on the board.
Oh, that's interesting.
And no pair of bishops, actually. So no pair of bishops because the bishops were traded, but the queens stay on the board.
It is a very, very good point, Anna. And now black can also castle on the short side. Yeah, but...
Oh, Kitty, as much as we've been trying to analyze everything, we do have an update now on the live board. Let's catch up.
Okay, we have all the moves, Anna. We have all the moves, and guess what?
No.
Oh, Jack here. But it goes anyway the same line. Okay,
we have showed a few alternatives, or even the Berlin endgame, which is very popular and very known. But this cannot beat a quick draw when both players are happy with that result. And a draw means tomorrow there will be more chess. So I know it's not what you guys wanted to see for today, but the good news is it will give more chess to us tomorrow, a tiebreaker tomorrow, rapid chess and blitz chess, or even Armageddon if they make a draw in blitz. So no more draws tomorrow because the tiebreaker will have to decide which one of them will be the winner of the Grand Prix.
That's a good point, Anna. And we really want to see tiebreakers in between these two players because it's a lot of fun. They have played a lot of games and it usually ends in a draw. So the statistics is that they don't have much of the decisive games, but they have tons of draws. But as we have now Armageddon in the regulations, we're gonna have just one winner. Let's take a look once again at the standings for now and the points. They both have 1 point. They made 2 draws, 2 very fast draws. Today was even faster draw, which means that we are going to see tie breaks tomorrow. And let's, Anna, take a look the format of the tie breaks. Once again, I'm sure all of our viewers know about this, but we might have some new people joining us today at this tournament. And this is one very exciting format of the chess where we start with 2 rapid games with 15 plus 10. And this is really huge difference to go from classical chess to rapid chess, but this is not even enough. If they make draw in both games, then we're gonna see 3 minutes plus 2 seconds for both players. They're gonna play 2 games. And if it's also a draw, then Anna, they're gonna have Armageddon. Can you please very briefly explain us what is Armageddon?
Armageddon would be that white has 5 minutes on the clock, black has 4 minutes. There's no increment though. And the reason why white has 1 extra minute is because in case of a draw, it will count as a win for black. So draw odds for black in an Armageddon game, no increment. So you can flag the opponent from white's perspective with the extra time. That will be the very end in case they do not have a decisive result after the first 2 rapid games or after the first 2 blitz games. In the first leg of the Grand Prix, Hikaru has managed to beat Levon Aronian in the finals, and I think he has a very similar strategy and plan for this one against his compatriot and teammate Wesley So. Yes, they get along very well. Yes, they often play draws against each other, but there will be no draw option in a tiebreak. There has to be a result. Only one of them can win, and it's going to be a very exciting day to follow tomorrow.
That's right, Anna. But for Hikaru, this is not the end of the day, and he is according to his schedule. And please let us know what is happening now in few hours.
A lot is happening. Hikaru will play another match today in the Rapid Chess Championship. He qualified from yesterday's Swiss. He played against Wesley first yesterday, then he played the Swiss to qualify to today's Rapid Chess Championship knockout, and he's going to be facing Nodirbek Abdusattor, one of the youngest grandmasters in history, in a match starting in 3 hours. So Hikaru's match is scheduled to be in 3 hours. He's got some time to grab some food, go back to the hotel, prepare for the match, and also launch his stream. Also, when it comes to his perspective, of course, he always has coverage on his channel about the Grand Grand Prix, but I'm pretty sure that the Rapid Chess Championship match will be directed and streamed by Hikaru himself. So I can't wait to see it, but I also am very excited to follow the rest of the matches. Do not miss Chess.com's Rapid Chess Championship, which is a brand new world-class online rapid event series of for the top 100 players, top 10 women, and top 10 junior in the world. They compete for a prize fund of $20,000 each week, which will culminate in a prize finals of $150,000 in late August. It's always a Saturday Swiss and Sunday knockout starting very shortly. Make sure to follow the event over at twitch.tv/chess if you are on Twitch, or on our YouTube channel as well.
That's right. Myself, I love to see that show as well and enjoy very much. Unfortunately, today we had just a short day, Anna. We wanted to show you more because I really love to do commentary with you and always have a lot of fun. But it was the shortest day of our work so far, the history of our work. But it's a good memory, I think.
And also, we normally do a rapid recap of the day, of what happened, the recap videos, but I'm afraid this game will not make it to the rapid recap because it's not a new game. This draw has been seen at so many super tournaments, so many events, and it keeps being one of the shortest draws possible in the Berlin defense. Very fitting for a Grand Prix that is being held and played in Berlin, but the two will be back tomorrow for the final day of the third leg of the Grand Prix to decide who is going to be the winner of leg 3 of the Grand Prix, because we already know that overall winner is Hikaru Nakamura. He has won it all this week. Title Tuesday, Arena Kings, and the Grand Prix in between. He will be playing the Rapid Chess Championship in just a few hours. So make sure to tune in to see how is the rest of the event going at the Rapid Chess Championship.
Yeah, that's right. And Anna, we cannot really judge the players. They had long tournament, very tense tournament. Wesley even admitted that he was so sad after the game against Tabatabai when he lost this piece. That he couldn't even sleep that night. So there are lots of emotions. They are exhausted and they want to show their best, do their best in the other format of the chess. So we're happy with that. We're waiting for that to happen tomorrow at 3 p.m. in here. So you guys make sure that you will join. And thank you so much, Anna, for joining me today, and also to our viewers who joined us on Twitch and also YouTube, and also, of course, the whole team of chess.com and our producer as well. So final words to you, Anna.
I just wanted to thank everyone, and also always a blast, Kitty. I hope our next commentary will last a bit longer so that I can enjoy your company longer, but I will be definitely watching tomorrow's final tiebreaker. So tomorrow is the final day of the last leg of the Grand Prix. Katie will be here tomorrow too, I believe. Do you already know who will be your co-host? Can we reveal it?
Yeah, David was very excited that when the game ended yesterday in a draw, he was like, tomorrow will be a draw and I'm coming back on Monday. So
he knew it. He knew it. Back. Oh, well, David, whether that will be a curse or blessing, tomorrow we'll figure it out. But we will have more chess. We will have more games because of these two draws are leading to a tiebreaker. Rapid Chess or even Blitz and Armageddon are on the agenda. Make sure to tune in tomorrow. Same time, same place. Katie will be here with David. I will be watching for sure. And I will definitely be tuning into the Rapid Chess Championship too. Cannot miss it.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in.